Hi everyone, you're watching Jana Effects. In this video, as usual, technical analysis for the coming week. We will have a look at main pairs, important levels and possible entry points. And if you are interested in just Bitcoin, it is right at the end of this video. Okay, this week we had some good trades, some profitable trades. Some are still in the recovery, but the major pairs which I was giving pound dollar, pound yen and dollar Canadian all closed out with good profits. Okay, so like I'm saying as usual, guys, be careful with the crosses. Like I had some crosses with Australian dollar against the other pairs, and the few of them are still in the recovery. So and as usual, of course, I'm using my EA, and the signals for my trading is in Telegram channel, which is Jana FX. You can find in all the links in the description under this video as usual, guys. And of course, if you're interested in EA, it's also a link in the description. So yeah, let's look at euro dollar. Let's do the main picture again, daily chart, so we can see what's actually happened. So pretty much as expected, after such a big move up, right? Previously we were waiting for the correction, and it was a bit of a correction. And as you can see, we are still inside a bit of the uptrend, which weekly chart is a bit better, which I was telling you about right here. As you can see, it still sits in here, and at the same time we are in a downtrend channel. And so at this moment it just not much of the change, right? So it didn't break out this level. So that's why, for example, yes, we're inside downtrend, but we're still expecting that euro dollar can possibly go a bit more into a correction, right, of this big move down. So now going back to a bit smaller time frames. So as you can see here, guys, the expectation was that the correction which happened, and the pair didn't break 119 and it didn't break 118 either, so it got down to this area but actually stayed still a little bit above. So as you can see from that picture, it is 4-hour time frame. I could actually turn it around, right? So we had this movement up first, and now it's all changed. So I have this a bit of the tops which are lower, and I have a bottom here, so I could connect it. And now you can see that I have this little downtrend, which is I am treating like that possible the euro dollar will still continue downtrend. But we have very important levels here, which is 118, and also that one from this bigger picture, right, which is quite possible. So if we will break all of this, and then that means to me would be we will continue more going down, right? So I'm still into the this scenario, the bearish, okay, but like I'm saying, it's anything can happen, you never know. So that's why at this moment, of course, like you understand the main idea, I put the pair in the downtrend. So that's the main picture. And now I'm going, of course, look for possible entry points. I did not actually have any entries for euro dollar this week, so I didn't send any screenshots because I didn't really like it, even though it did actually worked out quite as expected. I had a trade from the previous week, I think that what I was sending you before, and which now closed out. So with this, the last 3 days of this week, you see, it was a little bit messy, and it was not very much of the possibility to put any trades in here. That's why I decided to stay away. Okay, so and at this moment I also not getting into any trades. I'm waiting for this a little bit of giving me something. Of course, it's because we are inside this a new downtrend. I'm expecting a possible a little bit of correction of this movement. So now you see it's a 1-hour chart. So for example, from here going into something like this area, right? And if it will like go back and sit a little bit, then once again, you see, without breaking out, would be really nice place a sell order from here, and expected, of course, this time to actually break this 118 and go even more down. So like a really good like let's say 50-60 pips to the next level of the bigger time frame, right? So which is about, like as you can see, 117.60, maybe 117.50. So it might try to break out and come back. So it could be some action around here. So you see, that would be a really nice area. Of course, at the same time, I will not be excluding a possibility to try to go up. Okay, yes, from here if it will sit, it might try to, you see, go and actually break this, because we do have a little bit tops higher, right? So it might try to go higher and then who knows, stop anywhere a little bit in this area or something, or maybe even try to go back to 119. So quite possible, but I'm not sure about, again, placing the buy orders at that point, if it will be right here, okay, because it is too close to these little levels where it could be only like 20 pips movement or something, because this is quite a bit of a mess, and it's kind of like a bit of a flat. And if, for example, you see we're going back into here, like just a little bit correction of this little movement, so, and stop somewhere around here below that level, I will be looking, placing just sell orders. I will be like doing my pending sell orders as usual, using my EA, so then I'll place it somewhere, right, and we will see. So if, for example, for the possible buy pending order, I wanted then to stay above 118 and then just sit in here, okay, not jump anywhere up there too much, just to have a small movement and just consolidate in this area. And then of course, then I will be using, again, place the sell pending order here, and it would be, you know, I'm like using the trend levels, and then I will be using, placing the order, something like that. So I'm just going to show you. That's how it's going to look like if we're going to stay in this area. So if it's not going to go nicely in here and give me something here, so I can't place sell, it just will go touch that or come back and sit a little bit. Doesn't have to be right this edge, so it could be just, you know, up a little bit, down a little bit, and then another move, so some kind of that area. Then it would be a good, because it would be enough pretty much to go back to this. If it decides, you know, to go, I mean, now I know it's not going to be too much, but for example, you see it's like about 30 pips, and I usually go for my first 10 pips just to protect, because yes, it can be stopped by that, and then turn around again. So yes, I will not be surprised if it will be trying to do so, like, you know, trying to break, then come back, and then I'll keep my orders. If it will do something like this, up, down, come back, it will be more like we will continue the way down, and at the same time, so you see it might go up, then stay above it, and then try to move up again. Okay, so right now I'm going to remove it, so you understand the idea. Of course, if from here it will be trying to actually break out again, right, where those stops, like break out, maybe go slightly higher or stay just above my channel, which I just drawn, and then I will be looking at some possible entry points in here. Of course, you see, it would be also not bad to place the sell pending order in the expected coming back, or breaking out this area and trying to go a bit high. So that's my view, and that's how I'm planning to work with euro dollar this week. Okay, now we're going to, of course, don't forget there will be some news again this week, and last week euro news were not as good as I was hoping, so not much of movements, but again, like I was telling you, the majority of the news are moving the markets is pretty much like a dollar, right? So whatever happening with dollar, it moves a bit better than the other news. So you see, like euro didn't have very good. Pound dollar, also looking at the 4-hour chart, so the same, right, expectation here that we go for correction. So yes, it did drop again, stopped at half, 37.5. Like I was telling you previously, it does look like it likes to go 50s, right, like wherever it goes and then stops on the halves, and from here it jumped up. So actually the entry point I was giving you here, guys, that's the sell, worked out pretty well. In here I didn't really like it much, because it wasn't much of the consolidation in that area for me, so that's why I didn't get any trades in here. And what we are looking at now, again, let's look on the bigger time frame. Remember, we have the same pretty much situation where it's jumped inside this uptrend channel, right? And look, this week it had a correction, which I was telling you, yes, expectation of a possible correction, or maybe we will be continuing the way up. If we would have continued way up and sit above, it would be more like we are actually back in uptrend channel. But now you see it's broke, didn't go much down further, so it still stopped here and tried to make it return in the same channel again, right, but still stays below the previous top. So we're still underneath like 85, 38.50, right? So you see it gives us a bit of the pin, but still in edge, right, in the edge, trying to get in, and still stays underneath. So it's kind of a little bit tricky. As you can see, it jumps ups and down. I'm still at this moment with this picture, I'm still bearish with pound, okay? I'm still bearish, and that's why I'm still looking into possible continue to go down, but like I'm saying, I'm not excluding that it could be going up. So you see it has this rough moves. Okay, so from here we still, you see, I still could connect a little bit of these bottoms, but it's again looking just a little bit like and now a possible bit of a triangle, as you can see here, right? Because we have these tops, now it has a little bit of this bottoms going up, but there's not actual trend. Okay, so there is no pretty much, except yes, we are still a little bit bearish, right? Still into more bearish mood, okay, than the bullish. So that's what it shows me, the chart, exactly what it shows me. And so as for entry points, guys, again, is the usual important thing. I'm going to tell you, you see, this is where the area I was looking at previous week, I was telling you, and this is where we were going for sell, right? And we are back in the same area. So you see, guys, exactly the same area. So of course, another point in here is we have again double top. So it's tried to break out. You see, it came back in the same area. So that's what it makes it feels like it should continue the way down. So of course, I will be looking to place my sell order here. But with the opening of the market, of course, I needed for a little bit of consolidation. So first of all, we do have this a little bit of move, so it might have a little bit of correction of that move. So right, so from here it might still go back up, might still stay in this area, might have a bit bigger jump, a little bit higher, you see, because like you never know what can happen. I mean, if you will use the Fibonacci levels of this movement, you will be able to see a lot of the levels would be around this area, so it can be jumping like that correction on any of those levels. Okay, so basically if it will just sit in this area, that would be my entry point. Of course, like I'm saying, I'm still more towards just placing the sell orders, but you never know. And it could be, from here, like, okay, we have this again 38.50, you see it stopped, and it could try to go to 39, which is like, you see, there's another 30 pips, 50 pips. Okay, so I will not be excluding that it might be trying to do something like that. So that's why I want to see, because in here also it might give a pin and come back, right? Also have a consolidation, like again coming back, consolidate a little pin, jump back in and try to go up. So you never know, because there might be some good news. It's still treating the COVID news, and we still need to listen for those Brexit news, and you can see it jumps. So that's why I cannot exclude the moment it could be from this area of consolidation and again jumping up. Okay, so even though you see on a bigger picture it's pretty much nothing, it's just a pin, but the markets are covering up, they fill in the pins too, just like the gaps. Okay, so that's why it can easily go and jump up again to this 39, but still staying inside the downtrend channel, right? So it depends if it will try to jump, for example, to 39, right, maybe slightly high, and stays in here, finally goes back and stays in here, then I would say a little bit more chances it would probably would try to break and try to go even higher, okay, afterwards. It could possibly be it. So don't be just thinking, okay, it's a pin, it's rejecting, so it's definitely going down. Yes, it does look like it, but it's not guaranteed, it's like you can't guarantee anything in trading. That's what I'm saying. So yes, my first scenario is we continue way down, because yes, it's tried to break out. I mean, it did have a bit of a pullback, then come back again into this area, but give us nothing. Just you see that little pin on the daily chart, it's like it's nothing, absolutely. If it would give us a green candle there, it would have been more, like I'm saying, if it would have been just stay here in the green and then just wouldn't be this much of the red candles and just sit, it would be more like, yes, it tries to stay here, but at this moment you see it's give us on a smaller time frame as a double top. Okay, and of course that's why we're expecting a continuation of the downtrend. So that's why more towards that. So you got it now, guys. So this would be my first area to look for the entry points. Wherever it will jump up, so we will see. And obviously this is another point. You see we are staying pretty much behind this channel which I used previously. Even if I will correct it a little bit more with these tops and bottoms, we are still underneath. So you see it's kind of like break out this point, right? So it tried to go up inside that one, but it didn't have any strength, and it still came back down here. But never know, right? So okay, I can leave it wherever plus minus. It's just you see the good entry point I was using here a little bit. You see, and here is a bit touches in here, so we will see. This one is the first. So of course from here well, let's say if it will not stay here and just fall straight away, then of course I'm gonna see if 39 will be stopping point, and then looking at this next possible entry point, or it will go down further. Maybe it will sit in this area, and then this could be possible entry point. You see, like maybe the 138 slightly plus minus, right? It could be in here, and at the same time, of course, it might sit in like this area. So there's lots of opportunities, but we are sticking out. I'm sticking with this one first, okay? And then we will see. Of course, I will try to send you the screenshots. Was again a little bit easier this week. We had some holidays, celebrations in Gibraltar, so but hopefully the next week would be a little bit more. Now more trades, okay, not celebrations. Australian dollar now, also 4-hour chart, the same expectation for correction, right? So that's exactly what happened. And now you see the point is we had a small correction. It still might continue that correction because it's very, very little one, and the first could be just the first leg of it. But we already have two tops in the bottom where it could connect them, and you see turned the pair around, right? From this uptrend, we are turning it into the downtrend. So that's how I turn the pairs, okay? And now, of course, looking for possible entry points. But okay, let's get back to the bigger picture. Remember, Australian dollar also made its return, right, in this possible uptrend. Okay, so I have a little bit mess in here with I don't need this level anymore, but anyway, so right, so it came back into here, but we were waiting for that correction, and now for it to stay, we need to stay above, right, to stay in here, in this area. I know it's a little bit messy, but here is a smaller picture. Now you understand, right, that the level, and we are still above it, and so possible expectation that from here we're going to continue the way down to wherever the 73, and then it would be quite important to stay above it. I mean, it still might break it and come back, and then it would be also a little bit more confirmation of trying to go back. At this moment, you see that I was telling you that was a quite huge reaction on the weakness of the dollar a little bit, but this week it will be more news again, and so we will see. So I presume a bit of a correction, and my possible entry points, once again, I will be looking at here. So again, so we have a little bit of this movement, right? So it went down a little bit, and from here I would expect a little bit more maybe correction, so maybe going back into this area a little bit, and then from here I would be able to possibly place the orders, because you see it's kind of a little bit close, like about 30 pips, but with possible breakout, and giving me about 60 to 70 pips to go down to like this 73 level. So it's kind of similar situation as you saw with euro dollar, right? And so that's if we will go into this area and we'll see it. Of course, again, would I be looking at the possible buy entry points? I need to see, once again, see how close it is to the next level. See, it's a little bit too close, only 20 pips, so that's why I might not place the pending buy orders, because at this moment, yes, I did turn it around, so we will see. So it can stick again the same in a triangle area, kind of like, right? So if it will not break down, if it will not go back here nicely, and then just like go down up, like touches this level, like wherever, given the mess, but not consolidate again, right? Not going back and sitting here nicely when you can place the order, but just jump up, come back, something like give a mess a little bit around, then possibly this would be the area, okay? So that could be a possible next area, and placing the orders once again in both directions, because from here it could possibly try to go up higher, and it would be nice a bit distance to this level. I will be ignoring this one, and of course from here to continue to 0.73 as a continuation inside this downtrend channel. So this all could possibly be in a little bit of flat area and a bit of consolidation because of the news and preparing for the news. I think the Australian news also will be this week, which, like I'm saying, I'm not sure, maybe you have to ignore it because the previous week it didn't work well, the previous this Australian news, and so that's why I'm more concentrating on American news and see where it's going to be. So of course, if it will jump straight away down to 73, then we will see possible a little bit of like some consolidation here. Then of course we'll be expecting for a bit of a correction, and then maybe continuing, and we'll be trying to break 73 again, right? So quite possible, but at this moment, technically looking, I'm expecting this a bit of a correction to 73, and then here a little bit of more battlefield. And if it's not going to be as good for American dollar, then possible continuation, because it will look a little bit like a bullish flag again right in here, and we have upside down head and shoulders. So technically looking, it would be a more going back into this uptrend channel, even though it's downtrend, the big one, downtrend channel, right? But at the same time, once again, just trying to show you the upside because of this bottom, right? So that bottom and that bottom would be higher, and if it will go back here, it will be trying to do recovery, still staying in there, well, except if it will break it and then stay above it, then we will continue with more uptrend, right? But this moment, yes, we're treating it as downtrend, and this is a correction, okay? So correction. So that's my view on Australian dollar. So waiting for a little bit more to give me a little bit better entry points. Like I'm saying, I don't want to place straight away pending order sell, because you see, if I will do it from here, it might just go down and then stop, right? And then go make it return back into here, sit, and then, you know, either go up or actually continue the way down. Easily can do so. So that's why it's risky to jump into that without any other possibility. So that's why I'm going to just wait a little bit for a bit better entry point. Dollar Canadian, okay, 4 hour time frame. We stopped here. Also, I was giving you the good entry point, right? That movement, because I was telling you it was a good area for smoke, waiting for a bit of a consolidation. Good to go down here, even to this level if it go down, but expectation was go for correction the other way around, right? So because it's dropped and I was waiting for correction, didn't expect, of course, such a big jump. But remember, I was telling you guys that, of course, that's the first little channel, and then we have another top, right? And you see, that's why I was not actually surprised that it got there, but not that fast. But anyway, see, it's pretty much touched this level if you would move it according to the previous top, okay? So, and I didn't have any other trades because that was a good entry here. It was already a little bit too much. You see, I had the jump, then came back, jumped down, and then came back again. So I couldn't get into this. Just didn't like the anything here for me much. So like you see, guys, again, my main picture with dollar Canadian a little bit more. We need this another bottom. Yeah, I'm still kind of waiting for a possible creation on that bottom. So yes, I had a really nice correction here. It still might go a little bit high, you know. I wouldn't be surprised, and we will have like a bit of, well, again, head and shoulders. It could be already a created shoulder, maybe a little bit high it would want to go. And still, I would really like nicely, technically, looking to see it go into these areas, okay, somewhere really nicely, give us a nice bottom here, and then trying to go up again. So that's why at this moment it could be a little bit more of the movements up. You see, it has a bit of a more room, so a little bit more, and you touch in a wick in here, and then you have, you see from here it might go high and also cover, it covered half of it, of this previous pin, right? So it might go a little bit even higher. So yeah, as for the entry point, so if we'll go on the smaller time frames right now, once again, it's a little bit messy, but it gives really good moves, right? So it has really nice movements, but you see it's a little bit wide. It's about 30 something pips, because for example, yes, if it will just sit in here a little bit, that could be a good entry point. And then if we will jump from here to the level of the like edge of it, so it's like 60 pips, right? And of course going down is a good one. Also we have previous bottom nicely, but it might be stop rate, but it's still good enough, and then it could be even further down. So on the other hand, of course, I can still leave it as it was. So, and just to see, that's I need, just in case if it will want to go a little bit, you see, if it will sit in here and just stop around here somewhere, it could be, you see, like just a little bit of stop. So that's why I need to think about it and see, like, again, if it will, like, from here have a little bit breakout and sit underneath that level. So maybe that would be a better entry point. You see, that's why at this moment I'm not sure what I'm going to do, and where it's going to be. With the like opening market right now, I want to just to see a little bit more, but maybe before the news events, because you see dollar Canadian and dollar pairs were doing quite well, well except dollar yen on American news, alright. That's why for dollar Canadian is doing really well. And also we will have a look at oil, okay, what the oil possibly doing, and then decide where to place the order. So at this moment I'm just going to wait, leave it as it is with the touch of this and the touch of the candles in here, and what's going to happen in that movement, okay. So of course a little bit of correction of this movement would be expected, but like I'm saying, where it's going to sit consolidating here, or maybe it will have a jump and start it to sit in here, right? And then I'll decide where to place my orders, if there will be any possibilities. Dollar yen is another messy week, so try to jump out, then come back. I had also trades here, and it's sell. It was, but I still have some previous floatings from the previous trade, so I still have a bit of recoveries, but this week trade was a good one. And I'm like still not sure what is going on with dollar yen. It's accumulating and accumulating, you see, trying to break out, so pretty much it's not possible to move it. Well, I mean, of course there is always possibility. I mean, you can still try to connect it like this, and this is like just going like really too much, I would say. See, from here again it might go just slightly up and then turn around. I think I'm going to leave it untouched at this moment, but like I'm saying, because it's accumulating so much, it could be really good moves. But the danger in here is of course the pins, right? So because it's too much accumulation in this area, so it could be huge jumps ups and down, and the same here could be huge jump down and come back, anything. And because of these huge jumps, there could be a lot of slipperage and increase of the spread. So that's why I'm not sure if I would want to go for this, because obviously brokers also waiting for expectation of this, something is going to definitely happen, right? So that's why I think I'm just going to leave it. Let's see. I still have a floating trade, and I'll just wait for a little bit more. I mean, like I'm saying, still would be better a little bit more like narrow area. You see, it's too much, too close to one or another. It's just a little bit too much mess, like in here. So that's why I think I'm just going to leave it. We still have so much uncertainty in here, right? Okay, so still waiting for something. Pound yen also was very messy, and anyway we still had, I was selling here, right? The sell order worked out, didn't go too far, but anyway still was enough to get. But you see how much it was jumping down and then up again and down and up. So it's definitely something with yen is like no certainty. Well, I mean, pound of course had these jumps. Anyway, let's see the bigger time frame. What we're going to do is still inside the downtrend channel. You see, guys, even though it's a little bit of going to recovery, but right in the edge give us the spin, which also you see it could started to fill in the spin, right? And at the same time it can continue inside the downtrend going down, which, like I was telling you, I'm still into bearish for pound, okay, until a bit more certainty with the Brexit finals and whatever with COVID. So that's why okay, I can connect it, move it a little bit, adjust it to see what it's going to do. Possible, of course. At this moment, well, the point is I don't really like as much as that pin looking, because this is usually a filling pin, okay, that it will fill in. But on the other hand, on technical view, on the 4-hour chart, you see we've been here, right? This is where I was selling previously, and you see it's jumped out, gave us the top, and then came back. So pretty much I can possibly place the same orders in the same area for sell. I mean, now we're going to go on a smaller time frame and to look into this. It just gets a little bit too much. I mean, of course, a lot of accumulation also started to happen here, and you see because of this accumulation in here, you see jumps up and come back and jumps up in here. It might do the same again this week. If it's like not as much of uncertainty, then you see from here it might just go, you see, stop by this area, or the previous 150 we had here, maybe try to break and then come back again and sitting underneath, and then try to continue the way. Okay, from here also it might have a jump back up and well, not break the top or try to break top, but sit in here. So it's a little bit messy for me right now, because yes, in here it's a little bit going up, and it might have this a little bit correction of this movement. Okay, so and at the same time, like previously so much of, that's what I was telling you last week, I didn't like it. It's too messy. When it's going too messy, it's going to be something is not right, some more mess, and it's exactly what happened this week. I mean, it was. So that's why this week it could be pretty much, who knows, could be the same, right? Could be stuck into this area, maybe a little bit more into here, but at the same time, of course, it could be a good move. Okay, I think there will be some pound news. Okay, so we would have to check during the week, but like I'm saying, it might not have a lot of reaction, or like wherever could be. So looking at a possible entry point, maybe I will just wait a little bit longer again for a little bit better opportunity, because I'm feeling it's a little bit risky in here, like I'm saying, to place sell, because it could be stopped by this level. So it could just jump and then get me into the trade and then come back and then sit in this, and I don't really want to go into flat. That's what I don't like. With the recovery system, it goes into flat, it can hit the stops few times, and I don't want it, because when it hits stops few times, then it increases the lot size. Okay, I mean, my count is quite big, which could be alright, but I don't really like this kind of situation, so that's why I just like rather wait for a little bit more certainty. Let's see what it's going to do here, right? If it will, for better opportunity would be if it will do something like this and just stay in this area, okay? And then it would be a bit better, because from here, nice distance again to go back, like for the correction of this movement, and of course breaking out and go down, finally maybe trying to break it, or even if it stops, it still could be nice. So that's the area, right? If it will just sit in a little bit in here, not as, I mean, right here would be really nice, but like quite often it would be somewhere in the middle, something like this. So even if it will stuck into this area again, then I quite like, likely would be looking at placing the orders. But this one I just want to wait, don't really like it as much, okay? Euro pound. So Euro pound, one of the scenarios, so I'm going to show you on a daily chart straight away, because that's what I was telling you. We came out from this downtrend channel, right? So now it's like broke back inside a bigger uptrend, and creating us a bit of a double bottom. So, and it has the pin, so expectation more going to go up, right? But this week we had some news for euro, and some movements. I was telling you that my expectation could be that instead of going up, first it will go down, and then from here, if it will return back into this area, then I would be more towards that. Finally, maybe I would place my buy order and expect it finally continue the way up to wherever 0.87, right? Breaking these tops and go to the next one, where it might probably find some resistance. So that expectation, possible entry points in this way. So once again, it's quite possible to look somewhere maybe in here, but it could be still, you know, go and stop in here, and who knows, I mean, it still might go back. So that's why maybe it would be better to wait for it to come back and then place the pending buy order. At the same time, I will not be surprised, still it would want to continue slightly more down, but still stays above it. So maybe if it will just go a little bit more and give a little bit better consolidation or something, and then maybe I'll be looking at placing the orders around here somewhere, okay? If it will try to completely come back into this area, then here I would be saying that possibly it could be, go back in here, have a bit of a correction, and then it might actually continue the way down. So yes, I will not be excluding that scenario if it will try to come back inside this area. So that would be for me more. And you see from here again, correction, not going higher, so and then it could possibly go even further, or even from here without any correction, just accumulate more, break that level and go even further down. I do not exclude this one, but still, like I'm saying, if there is something that's going to be strong for pound, that like will be news for pound this week, so yes, it could be this news might push euro down more, okay? So before that it might not even move anywhere, maybe it will just start here and stay here, and then I will look at possible entry points. So that's why I think I would rather just wait once again and see if it will stay above, if it will come back here, or it will be back into this area. and then place the orders, because at this moment, yes, expectation of first going down, we do have this scenario, and so for now I just need to wait a little bit more of next move of the confirmation. Okay, so that's why I'll wait a little bit. So now we're going to gold. The bigger time frame is better again to see the main picture. Remember, it's jumped inside, right, the uptrend, but it's still inside the downtrend, which I was telling you about, right? It didn't break the 1831, and look, this week it's actually made it all the way back underneath, right? So it did not continue that way, so it went down, which was also one of the scenarios, right? Because it moved up, and I was telling you, yeah, probably would need to go for correction, and then we'll see if it stays inside here. So now it's broke and sits underneath, so I'm still bearish with gold. Okay, so at this moment, back again into the bearish picture, and you see I could put it into the downtrend, a bit of a channel. So, and now of course looking for a possible entry points. To be honest, this if it will sit into this area, so that a little bit closer here would be a nice possible entry point. Again, is a continuation of the downtrend. I mean, of course, from here, it's like I'm saying, we'll see when the market opens, and if it will just sit, I will probably just place sell pending order and expect it possibly continue the way down, right, inside this channel, and then wherever lower, somewhere decide to stop, and then we'll look at it possibly might would want to go for correction, who knows, go back into here, sit in here, and then maybe we'll be trying to go back up or continue the way down. So, right, like this is kind of a little bit scenario at this moment, working with this channel. So, but if with the opening of the market, it's not, if it's like a breakdown, so then I will see where to place. If it just like sits above, I will place my pending sell order. And if it will just sit, of course, with the risk, it could be pin, right, during like whatever Monday or day. But if it will sit in here, and so then I will be looking at possible placing still not just sell pending order, but also buy pending order, right? Because it would look like a little bit of a triangle, and because of that, who knows, those kind of news could be reaction, and pair would want to try to go back up again, because you see it stopped. It did not give us lower bottoms. You see the bottom is still on the same level. So when we have it on the same level, it goes into a triangle, right? So because there is uncertainty, it doesn't know. It does look like we go back, but it's still not certain. That's why they're still thinking, do they want to continue this, or maybe they will, like, you know, like again, false breakout and then come back and then go back up again. So anything can happen. So that's why we will see. But the main idea, you got it, guys. Okay. Oil, the same messy week for oil. It's pretty much stayed flat, but underneath, still inside the downtrend, right, downtrend channel, and underneath wherever 70, well, roughly 70, right, we have, it's even a bit lower. So from here it's went down a little bit, so it started to sit like this. You see that resistance here and support here level, so it's still a little bit down, and from here, like technically, of course, the more expectation would be it should continue way down, right? So that's kind of like a more expectation, because it sits on the edge of the downtrend channel, so it's didn't make any other movements, so it should continue the way down. But because it's accumulating here, and it didn't, you see, it didn't, it's like started to create he's a little bit like double top, so it should have continued the way down. That would be a bit more, right? But it decided to stay. And so because it decided to stay, uncertainties, it's accumulating. And that's why, because of this accumulation, now they can do anything from here. They can jump up and come back and then continue the way down. They can jump down and come back and then try to break up even more. Or they can try just to try to break up and make a return into the uptrend channel, right? To break that 70 and keep going. So like nobody knows exactly what can happen now, because it's been sitting here for too long and accumulating the energy, right? Energy. So the buyers and sellers a lot on both sides, okay? Stops on both sides. So that's why from here anyway it can move. So that's is going to help a bit more with the situation with dollar Canadian, obviously, plus with the news, right? Whatever news. I think for Canadian possibly could be news. So need just to check the calendar, okay? So but let's see a little bit more like technical picture, just slowly, without any anything kind of like. So of course from here you see it's pretty much on the same again level, but lower, right? The previous tops were here, so we're a little bit lower. So of course we had a bit of the movement up. So from here maybe a little bit of correct consolidation a bit, and then of course it can go down to this little support wherever it's plus minus. Again, you can use Fibonacci levels to find your wherever 50, 60 levels. So I'm just roughly doing it like this, don't want to put too many. And you see it from here, it can do something like that. So for example, technically looking, if we're doing something like this, then we can try to still continue the way up, right? So if it will not break and have wherever sit a bit, then it could possibly, yes, to try to do so. Of course, here the same, it might go a little bit up, not breaking it at this moment, the same, go back into, stay above this level, maybe even go down here, who knows, and still try to storm the 70, right? So that's quite possibly could be this way, but you see still at this moment we're going a little bit down. So for example, if it can go down here, then go up again, but not breaking it, then from here we would expect it continue and breaking this one, support 67, 60 something, and then going down more further, lower. So that's pretty much could be, I mean, it's a bit narrow distances here. I mean, from here, well, it's not that bad, but on the buy it's a little bit, you see, too close to 70, and like, well, I mean, it can give the pin, but it's because it's already moved up quite a bit, so that's why wait for a little bit of the correction. Okay, so for a little bit correction, or maybe it will give a bit of like a little bit of flag, or like I'm saying, go a little bit more further, and then from here give something. So that's why, for example, this moment, like in here, I wouldn't be going into any trade, so I would wait for a little bit more. But that's the technical view. That's how you can see from will it break this level, or if it will try to storm 70 closer and stay above and give more like a bullish flag and more trying to break out, right? Or if it's goes here, stops, stays underneath, lower than the previous stop zone, more expectation of breaking it and going more down. So that's how I would be looking at technical view, and possible entry points obviously at those levels. So now finally Bitcoin. Okay, so guys, that's it. I was telling you about this, right? That good correction for Bitcoin. We do really need it technically, right? I'm talking about technical view, not of the uncertain, unusual, unexpected news. So if there's nothing, that's all you wait, technically, the top and the bottom, and then we can turn it around. So it started to give us that possible top. So you see, plus minus a little bit, and we're going to weekly time frame, so that could possibly be that finally our top we were waiting for, right? So it's it had a really huge jump down. So from here now it might have a bit of, you know, correction of this movement, of course, give it a little bit more massive. It's like it could be stuck a little bit in this area, then go a little bit more down, and then we will be I will be more seeing when it will give us that first big top, I mean second after this one, right? But I mean like that top, then give us another bottom, then I will be more towards like finally we're going to try to storm a higher highs, okay? But at this moment, so yeah, you see, that's where we were stopping. I was telling you guys that you could place your orders, right? The buy pending order from here, and you had a jump, but like you know, usually, you know, like not if you're trading like Forex, you just go for some profits and then you lock yourself with you put your stop into the break even or in a safe position with a small profit, and you could have placed your sell. Obviously, when you see it came back in the same area like of this channel, then you could have catch this move on the way down. So you could have small profit in here, and wherever profit you could get on the way down. So that's how it worked out with my strategy, how I usually trade. So catch would have catch both trades and small profits, right? So pretty much here now, guys, again, it does look maybe this little shoulder, this is double top. could be just double top, but anyway, so this will have a little bit of support neck area, so I presume it will continue the way down here, and then from here it might give this more correction, right, which would be like really nice technical overview. I mean, it might even go even further, but yeah, because of, you see, it could be double top. So if it's a double top, then yeah, breaking out and then go down. Maybe it will try to go in further straight away to give us that next bottom, right, somewhere around here. I will not be surprised, but a little bit more towards that it will, because of this big move down, it needs a bit of a correction, right? So from here I would expect a bit more, then it goes for correction, stays in here, maybe even going back in here again, staying here a little bit more and going down, and then we're sitting and giving us this bottom. So like I'm saying, pretty much I would be more towards that it could stay into range between 41 roughly and 50. Okay, so that could be a possible, well, 51 plus, but I would still say, let's say plus minus 50 and 40. 41, and we have here, if we go, no, about 40, I would say yes. I would presume if there will be no nothing for Bitcoin, I would more looking that it will stay in this kind of bit of area. So I create, as I was telling you about previously, right, it could possibly create a big triangle which will be finally broke with the movement up, because I believe that it will get stronger. But like I'm saying, you see, in long future, you know, like far away future, still not seeing it into a very near one like this year. So if we will see in a bigger time frame, you see if it's like, if it will sit and create this triangle, so then we have 2022 and something like, well, 2022, well, actually beginning of 2022, it quite possibly then can start to get higher. Okay, but I think by the end, by the end of this year, I think it will stuck in this area. I mean, it might not go, like I'm saying, might not go to 40. It might stay with the neck area. It still would be alright if it will sit with the range of, well, maybe not 45, it's still a bit lower, maybe 43, something like this. Staying in here, it still will be inside this downtrend, but it will be inside this triangle and closer, right, to give us that nice kind of, well, kind of not really is good, but still would be like bottom, right? And then we will be able to turn it around, and then finally expectation of going in the uptrend direction, because right now we're still inside the downtrend. And of course, if there is anything breaking out this let's say 40 from here, I mean, here still is not as bad if it will be inside, even going to like 36 is still right. But if it will be trying to break here, then it would possibly continue, you know, downtrend. It can easily go to 20, right? Yeah, but at this moment I don't see it as bad. Okay, is that, so that's why I think more it might just go a little bit flat and go in this range. Well, I would still say it flat would be like, if it's a triangle, going to get triangle is still kind of like flat with a little bit of down movements, because there is nothing at this moment, nothing is coming on the news, you see, and that's why it doesn't give the direction. And if there is no direction, we're sticking with the trend, with the technical analysis and the trend. You see, that's why I didn't want to move this channel, because you see it's broken, stayed behind it underneath, you see, and that's and then it didn't made it return into here, so it's come back. Yeah, so that's what I kind of see at this moment, a possible sitting in here. If it will try to make its return, like, okay, if it will have this support and then go and higher and stay, and then like maybe go on high and stay above more, then could possibly would be able to try to break through. But it's a little bit too much to talk about it at this moment. So let's see the picture of what's going to happen with this movement, because that movement is, you see, happened here, has got a bit of accumulation, a little bit of bearish flag, continue the way down, filling these wicks, right? So that's why I would not be surprised if it will continue it and fill it in, and then from here maybe we'll have this a little bit of correction. So right now there is no entry point at this moment. There is definitely no entry point. I wouldn't go. I would just wait. I mean, of course, from here it might go back into here and have consolidation, and it could be possible next entry point. I mean, of course, many expectations could be, okay, we broke down, come back, and so it might start to have a bit more recovery, like correction of this movement. Yes, it quite possibly be something like that, but at this moment it's just there is nothing, so that needs to go somewhere. Okay, so either go back to this one and then yes, looking at this possible entry point, or go to here and then look for the next possible entry point. Okay, so that's how I see it at this moment. Okay guys, so that's my view on Forex and obviously gold, oil and Bitcoin. If you like the video, of course, don't forget to subscribe, like. Happy trading everyone, and I see you in my next video. Bye!